we hit your gadgets with our state-of-the-art digitalized mobile studio with the debate on the road behind the wheels. Later, we launched our magnificent studios located on Plot 1A, Sewagude Close, Lukulinanganda, Machindye, Kampala, where we bring to you our must-watch shows like The Mighty Drive, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m, Hotline, Mondays, 7 p.m. As for legal matters, Twins at Bar, Tuesdays, 11 a.m. Wednesdays, 6 p.m. is Afro-Caribbean Link, where we connect Africa with the Caribbean. Voltage on Thursdays, 7 p.m. featuring a youthful panel. Interface with Dr. Kiza Besije every Friday, 12 p.m. with his call to action against injustices. Snap Talk, Saturdays, 6 p.m. with the trio. A must-watch, The Political Dice, Sundays, 8 p.m. with the duo that never stammers, and so much more. Watch us live on all our social media platforms. We are the Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Hi Rogers, can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess, yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought. But it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes it can, although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
Well, that's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be no more.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk.
What at the church, though?
Tawali man, what's up?
Man, can you imagine people just dump everywhere? Someone drinks water and throws the bottle wherever.
Come on, Rogers. What else do you expect people to do with an empty bottle?
Simanya now, recorder. Did you know that plastics take at least 450 years to decompose?
What? That's a long time.
Exactly. Because plastics are made out of a lightweight and flexible material that doesn't decompose easily. And plastics everywhere in the environment cause plastic pollution.
What is plastic pollution now?
It is the accumulation of plastic waste in the environment, like bottles, polythene bags, straws. All of these contribute to plastic pollution.
I have been using them without knowing their effect.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Plastics are a danger to the ecosystem, both on land and in water.
So how can we overcome this problem? Is there something we can do?
Oh yes, we can reduce by minimizing the use of plastics, reuse by repurposing them, or recycle by collecting and processing them into new products.
Everyone wants to change the world, but no one wants to change themselves for the world.
How about we change our habits for the world?
And it starts with me and you.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Okay, 33 minutes past the top of the hour of 8. Ochali ku program Bagita the Mighty Drive Show. Wano ku Digital TV. Amanyanze Edgar Matthew Karohanga. Eyakatwega tako tubadde mbubaka mawulire agagenda maaso mu ggwanga ne wabweru w'eggwanga. Naye wetutwogerera kati omugenyi waffe amaze okubanga negatako omukyala Ritah Arinanye. Ritah Arinanye mulwanyizi wa ddembe eri abantu bakye wali badde human rights activists. Omukyala ono akkiririza mu mbeera natalowooza nti tusobola okuba nga advocating for the rights of all human beings era ng'asuubira nti eggwanga lino lijja kubeera better as long as we value human rights and at the end of the day we value the people themselves. Remember, the 2026 elections are gearing up very, very soon. Abantu batandise okubanga tubindabinda. In fact, we are already in the political season. Omwaka guno gwennyini I think twali mwezi gwa mwenda gwa munana. In fact, Electoral Commission yafulumya roadmap ya electoral process gye tugenda okubanga tuddamu era abantu batandika okubanga beewandiisa abalala batandika okubanga beetegekera akalulu. Naye ate mujjukire nti akalulu akaasembayo era waaliwo ensonga ezaali ez'amaanyi ezalina okubanga zisimbwako essira ezitaali solved. Waliwo abantu abattibwa, abantu abasukka mu 5, wabeerawo abductions, wabaddewo torture, waliwo election violence, waliwo election rigging. These are some of the skeletons that this country still has, though we pretend as if they are not there. So we are going to have that conversation. So feel free okutuweereza message through our social media platforms at Digital TV, at The Alternative Uganda. Mumpereze comments zammwe, ebibuuzo byammwe byonna, your feedback. I'll be sharing it with Ritah. Waba alina kyasobola okubanga addamu ajja kuba akibaddamu. Basewo ne bannyabo, omukyala Ritah Arinanye, tukwaniriza ku Digital TV.
Amanya n'eddoboozi nze Ritah Arinanye era nga sanyuse nnyo kubeera wano olwaleero. Ndi mulwanyirizi wa ddembe ly'obuntu ate nga nakuguka mu kye tuyita nti ddembe ly'obuntu. Era nsanyuse nnyo era nsuubira nti waliwo ettoffaali lye ngenda okuba ngatta ku ba activist bannange Uganda okubanga twetegekera naddala kyetugendamu ekigenda otandika mu November. Already kitandise.
Kyatandika dda.
Tuli mu kulaba nti abamu bwe bagenda ku street batandise okubakwata. Kiki ekitegeeza nti eddembe lye bateeka mu ssemateeka ly'okubanga ffe taking a part mu civic activities. Tetulina. Era
tetulina. Okujjako tutandikiddeyo na high note. Tetugenda nnyo speed. Abalabula byaffe bagenda nga tutasi. Because that's the reality. Kyoyogerako kituufu. When amateeka amalungi, I still tell people that the laws are good, but implementation, you have a right to demonstrate. You will never demonstrate or protest. Now, is it your first time here at Digital?
Yes, it's my very first time.
How do you find our place?
The place is really awesome. It's nice, yeah.
Okay. Together,
it's a safe space.
I hope. Yeah. A couple of years we were raided and over 10 journalists were arrested. So when you say safe space, I smile. But omuntu atakumanyi, mukyala, what's your story, Ritah? Ova okufuuka Ritah ono gwe tulaba kati, a human rights activist.
Ritah nze nsibuka mu district gye bayita Shema, though nkulidde eno okusingira ddala Entebbe. Naye nkuze ndaba abantu nga eddembe lyabwe libagibwako buli kaseera. Ate ng'ovudde ne ku ekyo nti bye nakula ndaba nsuubira bye byandeetera okubeera nga nfuuka human rights activist. Nti mama waffe yateranga okugamba baganda bange nti oyo muyina mukuuma era ne kaakati mmanyi nti waliwo abali eyo nga otera n'ogamba abalenzi ab'ewaka bewazaala nti mukuume sisita wammwe. Ku kintu kye bayita okubanga omuntu omukuuma tekikoma okwo nti baganda bange bawayangamu ne bannaabwe ku muliraano. Temukwata ku sisita waffe temukola ki. naye ate tebaakoma okwo ne babagamba nti ne baganda bamwe abawala mubayise bulungi mubalwanirirenga so kyatandikira ndowooza mu buto nenkula okulaba nti nyina kuba ekyo kyendi.
Okay. Ne mu high school wali olwanira abantu. How was your school life?
Mu high school bateranga okumpita care person. Care, like literally everything matters to me. I remember one of my OG who is called Joan. Yateranga ogamba abantu naye Ritah lwaki ofaayo nnyo ne ku bintu ebitakukwatako. But it mattered to me and partly because I have a godly upbringing nti batukuza nnyo nga batugamba nti munnange olina kuba righteous, olina kuba nga bw'olaba ekitali kituufu gwe kola ekituufu ekisanyusa Katonda. So mwekyo nti nalaba nga justice kyekintu ekyandibadde nga buli muntu yenna akiganyulwamu naye kitaliiwo kaakati kubanga tulaba bangi ate buli bwolaba ku muliraano nga munno akasiisira ke kakutta omuliro gwe n'okalaba bulabi n'otafaayo enkya kagenda kukwata ewuwose.
Yeah, of course. Kituufu.
So kati mu ngeri eyo engeri gye nnakuzibwamu engeri gye nnali ku ssomero ate amasomero ge twalimu nga ga ddiini ssebo ne gateekamu ekyo ekintu nti beera ekyokulabirako beera gwe alina okuba nga olaba nti munno akuliraanye ali bulungi.
Yes.
So si gwe just ogamba nze ndi bulungi.
Be your brother's keeper.
Yes.
So
partly that is why I became what I am. And of course another story that I can't share here which is partly of my family and and of course my mother wouldn't feel comfortable with such
it is okay. I get you. I get you. But you should have encountered some challenges.
Yeah.
Because being a human rights activist in Africa first before Uganda is already tedious a challenge. How has it been for you in terms of those challenges?
Of course you face a lot of intimidation, a lot of fear. Bingi nnyo byotya gamba naye kino nkyeŋŋanga ntya. N'otandika okugamba waliwo abaatusooka mu kino ekintu naye nabo kumpi kiringa waliwo ettofaali lye baateekako naye kyali kizibu bo okubanga basimatuka nga batuuka ku leve endala. Kati nzaani asuubira nti nsobola okukyeŋŋanga n'enkiwangula. So ebintu ng'ebyo bireetamu okutya osooka n'otya naye buli bw'oddayo emabega n'osinziira kintu kyemmanyi nti bw'osinziira ekyo ekintu okiwangula kubanga munno ebizibu byayiseemu ebimufudde kyali ate gwe toli oli story yo yanjawuloko
waliwo gwe kyatta naye tekitegeeza mbu naawe kijja
weebale nnyo okimanyi nti nno waliwo be bakwata ne bamutwala mu safe house oba ne bamutwala mu poliisi n'avaayo naye waliwo oli gwe batwala ne bamubuzaawo obutadda nga toli mulabako naye kiki ekitukuuma nti ngenda kuddamu ate ngendi wali ku street.
Era nekwewuunya lwaki munnaabuzeewo waliwo gwe bakubye obuteegateega
kitegeeza nti emikisa gyaffe gyanjawulo.
Mpulira
emikisa gyaffe gyanjawulo ate eduniya ya munno si yeeyo. So olina kulaba gwe ne weeraba ng'omuntu asobola okuteekako enkyukakyuka. Waliwo omuntu gwe njagala ennyo gwe bayita Gandhi.
Mahatma.
Yalaba ebyaliwo. Amateeka gaaliwo nti gwe bonoba omunyo muyina gugula nga bamaze okuguleeta. Abazungu engoye temujja kukola ezammwe wano muyina kulinda ne bazikola eri ne mujja ne muzigula. Ye n'ateekako defiance. Naye bwe yagiteekako yakola enkyukakyuka yadde ku nkomerero baamu assassinatinga. Naye waliwo ettofaali lye yakola nti ne kaakati tukyamwogerako
era ate sio wa non-violence oyo era preaching non-violence Mahatma.
Twogere ku Yesu. Ye kennyini movement ye gye yakola gye yatambuliramu yakozesanga bigambo. N'atuuka okuba nga bakola ki? Nga bamukomerera. Ku musaalaba ne bakola byonna bye bakola, ne bamusipiitingako amalusu, ne bamufumita ne bamuwerekeza ebigambo eby'enjawulo, naye yasigala ku ki?
Ku kike.
Kintu kyensobola okugamba nti kino ekintu bw'obanga tokyagala gwe nga gwe muli munda, teri muntu asobola okufa osinga okibeera. Sina buyigirize nti kugenda kufuula kikyolisebo. Nedda. Ekyo ekintu omanyi abazungu waliwo ekintu kye batera okukola nti bo ba-identifyinga talent y'omwana ng'akyali muto. Nti ono agenda beera engineer, ono agenda beera lawyer, ono agenda beera, okusinziira ku mwana engeri gy'aba ebintu by'abazannya nabyo, ebintu by'abeera ng'akola ng'akyali muto. Naye wano tukyalinamu challenge nti bazadde baffe tebatera bi-identifying ebyo ebintu nga bukyali.
That's very true.
Era ojja kwesanga ng'ogenze mu education system yaffe ng'osomye byonna ng'ebimu tebijja kukola ki? Tebijja nakugasa.
Kiraba kyogamba.
Naye kye ngamba nti zuula ekyo ekikulimu, kiki ky'owulira nti kisobola oku-identifyinga.
Tokyekaka.
Si kyakukaka nti ngenda kukaka nkugambye nti kola kino, kola kiri. Nedda. Osobola okukola ekintu nga tewaliwo omuntu akukase nti kikole. Kitegeeza nti okiwuliramu emirembe. Ne bw'okikola oba owulira muli essanyu ng'ogamba, I've done my part.
It's fulfillment.
Yes.
I get what you say. But the people you people are trying to advocate their rights for, nga balinga abatabiriiko babalaba wali ne bagamba nno bali mu kwekalakasira ne bakuyambako bajja kukubira ku ngalo, naye you'll never see them come to join you. It's like you people don't have a cause.
I think we do have a cause.
But
we have within the civic space it has been shrinking over time. And kitegeeza nti ne bw'onoobanga osobola okugenda no creating awareness, you will be restricted. And why? Because of the existing policies that are in play. Kati kitegeeza nti omuntu wa bulijjo tajja tegeera nti nyine eddembe ku kino. Yadde tulina kye tugamba nti rights are inalienable. Tewali muntu alina zikuwa wajja nakyo.
By the mere fact nti oli muntu, right eba yiyo because you are a human being.
Yes. Naye tusanga okusomozebwa nti ogambye nti ogenda sinkana bano abantu oyogeremuko nabo oba nnyonnyole ku ddembe lyabwe, naye ne wesanga nti soko wandike ebbaluwa otegeze poliisi nti ngenda kubeera n'abantu bwe bati ne bwe bati. Oba kitegeera? And omala ogiwandiika, kimu ku kigenda osooka okukolebwa kwe kuba nti bakusalawo ne bagisazaamu. Tebajja kukkiriza. Kati kitegeeza nti bw'oleeta ate enengero endala n'ojja n'osinkana bano abantu n'oyogera nabo, bajja kugamba tewayise mu ssemateeka. Naye nti obadde defiant, tokoze eki? Kubanga bw'olaba Public Order Management Act, police eyina obuyinza okubanga ebeera informed so that it provides security to you people. But does it provide security? It doesn't. And after bobanga nga toginotifyinze ejja kujja ogambye waholdinze this without our notice, kitegeeza nti wakoze eki? Nti wamenye etteeka. Naye ate mu ssemateeka y'omu, our mother constitution egamba nti tulina eddembe okuba nga tukola ki nga freedom of expression, freedom of assembly. Nti you can do all this, but are we doing them? If we do them, we get arrested. I have my friend that I was studying with at Uganda Management Institute. and she was in Vijana Corps. And I think you heard about them. They were holding a press conference, just a mere press conference.
Yeah.
And they were caught, taken to prison, charged with, I call them nonsensical charges because they are charges that you really don't see.
Value really.
Yeah, I really don't value some of them. Naye abantu singa tuba tufunye omwaganyo gw'okuba nti abantu tusobola obbategeeza nti look here, this is how corruption affects you. At the end of the day, your right to health will be affected. Nti mu ddwaliro abasawo tebaliiyo. Lwaki tebaliiyo? Teba allocatinze ssente okukola ki?
Okubasasula.
Okubasasula. Eddagala teririimu. Kitegeeza abantu tugenda kufa. And
but for already, yes. Present continuous.
And the very fact that human rights are interdependent on each other. Now you've denied me access to health, a health facility, medication and stuff. At the end of the day, it is affecting my right to life.
I hear you.
So singa omuntu abantu tutegeera nti tuyina eddembe ly'obuntu twandisanye ne tukola bwe tuti ne bwe tuti ne tujja ne tu participating in such activities. I think it would be okay for us.
I'm listening. Though many people say human rights activists ate kati kafuuka kansonga ka ssente we mugenda mu activities, you know, it's not that you really care about us so much and our rights, but many of you, it's now a job. You are showing what you're doing to donors. Accountability would okuja street accounting for resources. How true are these sentiments that akasente ke kabavuga?
I'll call it a false allegation. And why am I calling it that is nga bwe nakusoso kugamba nti this is something that you do out of passion.
Yes, nchiwulira.
When you do something out of passion, you don't expect to be paid for it. It is voluntary service.
Mpulira.
Owulira muli munda nga oyina obulumi nti munno kyayitamu kibi. Si munno kyayitamu kyokka, naawe kyoyitamu.
Kuba nawe okiyitamu.
Oluusi bamanyi ogamba nti you're advocating for rights of oppressed citizens, yet for you people you're not oppressed. Oba kitegeera. Naye nze ngamba nti buli muntu yenna nga watandikira okuba nga alwanirira eddembe ly'obuntu alina okunyigirizibwa kwayiseemu. He or she has a story to tell.
Olwoje kiba kiva.
Yes. From that, it means that waliwo ekimuleeta okuba nga akola ki? Okuba nga alwanirira eddembe ly'obuntu. So si kintu kyagamba nti kya ssente. Really.
Temuli bya capital. Ante abana bagamba wona agenda ku street ojja genda osabe visa ya America osikinga asylum bajja ku stampingira mu very easy. Ojja kutukala yinze bankuba n'ekiboko.
One thing I know about those countries is they are interested in human rights. They are interested in democracy. They are interested in people that are creating change, that are doing something to cause change in their society.
Yes.
So it means that in one way or the other, they have contributed. They are leaders within the society. They have led. I know some people will say, "Mungatula baba leaders tebengezinga mu bino ebintu." Those are not leaders.
Yeah, by the leader is not a position. By the leadership is not a position.
Yes, those are not leaders. But by the mere fact that they're interested in such,
yes,
in human rights, in democracy, nti owulira obulumi nga munno kyayita mu kibi. They provide such opportunities, and I think they are like encouragements to people that look here, be your neighbor's keeper. Kiki ekikuvaako nga munno ali bulungi naawe oli bulungi. Okay, I'm giving you an example. If at all I'm your neighbor, and they have broken into my house to steal me, to steal my property, and you've come to rescue me. So that these thieves don't take my things. Chichi achikuvaako. That implies that tomorrow, if you also have a cause,
I will also have to come.
I will draw it as my cause. And it means that we are creating a responsive community. You get? And a responsive community, chitegeza nti, we shall see development at the end of the day. So that is how I can perceive it. They are interested in development and ensuring that human rights are observed and democracy, and that is the reason they are putting such. But it is not the intention of the activists.
Oh, they find themselves running to them because, for example,
for protection.
Now Kakwenza was tortured. I think Kakwenza could be, it's okay for him to go to exile, really. I get what you're saying. Because
he went through a lot and he needed protection.
Yes.
You get? Yes. So for them, as the international community, because you should know that we have international laws that do exist.
Yes.
And there are human rights articles enshrined in all of them. So as you're
we are signatory as Uganda, by the way.
Yes. So we are not looking at the international community as if it's alien. No. They are playing the neighbor role. You get? Like I was saying, it begins from a small scale to a larger scale. So if you, my neighbor, is not observing human rights, I will take it upon myself to ensure that I do something about it.
Exactly.
So that is what they are doing.
Okay. Just 56 minutes past the top of the hour of 8. My name is Edgar Matthew Karahanga and Charlie Nomchala Ritah tuchanyumya ku nsonga za human rights in this particular country. Now, we still have a lot of issues going on in the country. The parliament is becoming Uganda's parliament as it has always been. Contentious bills here and there. I want us to put a spotlight on that particular issue, but also dig deep into the bigger question of the elections come 2026. We want to paint a picture for you, starting from the previous elections, the things that have been reoccurring, and there are high chances that these things may reoccur again. Then also there's also a question of the opposition of this country. Where is the opposition? It feels like Mr. Museveni and the NRM are really striding in the best grasses ever. So what is the opposition doing for us? And of course, if you have any question, you have any comment, feel free to send it in at the Alternative Uganda at Digitalk TV. That is on Facebook, that is also on X, but it's also on YouTube. Now it's time we go for a short commercial break. When we come back, we touch base on those issues with Miss Ritah Arinanye. Good morning.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Teddy, have you noticed how little attention science and health issues get in the media?
Totally, Edgar, yet science information is very important.
Yeah, for sure. That's why the Health Journalists Network is here.
How can they help?
They are a group of journalists dedicated to advancing public understanding of healthcare issues through impactful reporting on health and science.
Oh, really?
Yes, they meet up every month with scientists and researchers, policymakers, and activists at the science media cafes. They then relay what they discuss to the public.
Does that benefit us?
Oh yes, very much so. This helps with health and science literacy for a healthy Ugandan society.
Okay. I love getting informed about science and health issues. Health information makes all the difference between life and death. I'll look them up and engage them.
That's great. They are based all over the country.
Oh, okay. That's interesting, and they should be making real impact.
They are empowering health communities through journalism. Journalists can save lives just like doctors.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Ziri saawa 3 zennyini, that means tubuzaayo essaawa emu okubanga tumaliza programu yaffe. Ebeerayo buli lunaku lwa Monday paka ku lunaku olwokutaano. Tutandika ku ssaawa 2 paka ssaawa 4 ez'akalasamayanzi. So tumalize essaawa yaffe esooka, tuli mu ssaawa yaffe ey'okubiri. Gwe yakanneegattako nkyali n'omukyala Ritah Arinanye. Ritah Arinanye mukyala mulwanyirizi wa ddembe, human rights activist, era asoosowaza nnyo ensonga ezeetooloolera ku human rights, era asuubira nti eggwanga lino twetaaga okuba nga tuadvocatinga more for human rights. So topic gye tulimu ekyali ku nsonga za byabufuzi n'ensonga ezigenda maaso mu lino eggwanga lya Uganda. Wenjagalya tugendeko tusimba amakanda mu parliament eya Uganda. Parliament erina etteeka eri contentious erya National Coffee Amendment Bill. Lino etteeka ligenda okuba nga lireeta enkyukakyuka lisobole okuba nga lisaanyaawo ekibiina oba ekitongole ekya Coffee Development Authority, obuvunaanyizibwa bwonna babuteeke mu Ministry of Agriculture. Bannayuganda bangi nga bakulembeddwamu ba MPs bakiwakanyiza, naye kiringanga ekigenda okuba nga kiyisibwa. Twawulireko ne Speaker Anita Mong ng'akola statements eri Abaganda, yabyewakanye, naye ate abakugu abatunuulira bu video basobodde okukakasa nti video yadde authentic, teyadde AI generated nga bwe yabadde agamba. Naye tetwagala kutunuulira nsonga eno yokka. Generally parliament eno eringa etali mu kuweereza eri bannayuganda, or at least according to the Ugandans. Njagala kuwuliriza Ritah. Ritah, what do you think about parliament yaffe eno generally?
I think the Parliament of Uganda is not independent. It's not. And we well know that these three arms of government, zino kubeera nga ziri independent. Naye, to what I'm seeing, me as an individual, is there is lack of independence in that institution. And there is a lot of nepotism.
Oh. Obenganda nepotism sikwe ku employing Abaganda bonna abakulinako Oluganda.
N'abakuliraanye mikwano gyo nti ennaku zino tebikyali kuba nti nyina bukugu mu kino, wabula kisinziira ndi mukwano gwani, ani amanyi. Kyetusinziirirako ekyo. Ayinza okuba nga wa Luganda oba nga wa mukwano oba wa ku kitundu kw'embeera gye nsibuka. Nemuleeta muki? Nemuleeta naye akole.
Jangu tulye, jangu tukole, jangu tufune.
At the end of the day, bwe manga nkuleese mu ngeri bw'etyo, whom are you going to serve?
You.
Thank you very much.
Gwe yampa omulimu.
Yes. Naye nti bw'oba ondeese okusinziira ku my capacity, I'm not going to be serving you.
I'm serving the office.
I'm serving the office.
Mpulira.
So that is what we have in the Parliament of Uganda. And then talking about the Coffee Amendment Bill that is majorly targeting the UCDA, I think maybe some people are not happy that grassroots people are getting some money.
What do you mean? We should be happy that grassroots people, empowering Ugandans, fighting poverty.
That is, and there is one of the MPs who said, Mr. Honorable Lutaya,
yes,
who said that I think you people are not patriotic enough. And I think somehow I'm beginning to agree with him with his statement.
You are serving poison and you know that it's poison.
Yes, because if you're really patriotic, if you really love your people, then if I'm earning something, you should be happy. Because at the end of the day, it's going to contribute to development.
It does. Yes.
But because I'm earning money, and one of the tools that you're trying to put in place is the tools is poverty. It is one of the tools to maintain yourself in power.
Are you informing us that the poverty we are facing is not by mistake?
It's not by mistake. It is strategic.
Okay.
Yeah, it is strategic because that is the reason we are having a lot of questions around this bill. Because it is trying to, if at all it doesn't go through, then it will be breaking one of our strategic our strategic directions that we want our community to be part. I think some people like beggars per se, that when you see someone on the street begging you, you feel like it's okay, but is it really okay?
It's not.
How about if at all they are doing something they are doing and they are earning from it and contributing to the entire development of the country? I think we would be actually proud that, you know, people are making money. And the whole instance of saying that, you know, make sure the Baganda don't get numbers. What have the Baganda really done, apart from being hospitable? What have they done? To me, as a person who has, I'm not a Muganda, but I've been in Buganda for so long. But these people have been...
They have no problem, really.
They are hospitable people, and I think that is it bad to be hospitable?
No.
I think maybe right now it's viewed in such a kind of a way.
So, but is this an attack on Baganda, or we are the ones just trying to over-exaggerate?
It is, because if you see the past past period, I think the Katikkiro of Buganda came out nga asonsowaza kagamba Baganda mulime mwanyi nyina ne mukwano gwange mu Nakalungu java naye nagende eyeka natandika kugamba abantu simbe mwanyi n'abawa n'ensigo.
Even have the Mwanyi Terimba initiative.
Yes.
As Buganda.
Yes. So I think after it being somehow resurrecting or oversought, nga Kofi yakatandika okubanga azuukira, we see that is when the attack comes. Before, when Kofi had actually died up, kubanga waliwo, I'm forgetting the name of the disease that the pests that actually attacked the coffee, and it was not yielding so high. But now we've seen in the recent season that has just ended, I think it's still on maybe somewhat, but little by little, that people have yielded so much from it.
Yes, pretty.
And from yielding out of it, that is when we are seeing all these things coming up. Why didn't they bring it when?
No, but they're saying they're trying to improve that. There is duplication of entities, that you have two agencies that are doing literally the same thing. Kati mchifocho kuduplicating abine ebintu katukwate responsibilities onna eza Uganda Coffee Development Authority tuziteke mu ministry naba running better. In fact, Pagambe, it will even help in auctioning, better auctions and things like that. It's from a better place. Why do you mistrust? Because it's just a mistrust issue.
I think it is not actually a mistrust, as you're saying, because if you're to see the due processes of ministries and how authorities work, it is somewhat different.
That's true.
You find that in the ministry, you take long to get results, because that is how the system has been built. Nti ebintu bina kulaalira awo biva ku desk emu okutuuka ku desk endala bigenda twala mwezi mulamba. But the authorities at least have done their part. And if we are to look at the authorities that have really worked so hard, UCDA is among.
Yes.
It has done so much.
Yeah.
So why scrap? Why take, because it's all scrapping, why scrap this authority to take it to its mother ministry when it's actually doing?
Because it's a government policy. They adopted it, that there is going to be rationalization of government agencies. It's not about UCDA alone. Nendala zinabaze bazimajinga mpola mpola. Era nawe kibabesinga konti. In fact, Faba is creating a boy bagamba. Katulowooza mu magezi gaffe nti let's do what? Let's take them back.
I think let us look at the impact. Before and after. What impact has been created with the authority, with us having the authority, and what impact was there when we had a ministry minus the authority in place? That will be ably answer that question very well. Because we see a lot of impact that has come as a result of having that authority in play.
Yeah, I get you.
And omuntu wa wansi ali mu kiganyulwamu. And for me as a person who is so much interested in seeing that someone who is at the grassroots gains from this, of course I will not actually vote for it to actually go into its mother ministry, because I'm after this person being better.
Omuntu wa wansi.
And partly I think something that maybe people wouldn't know about is my grandfather was a coffee farmer. And from coffee, he was able to sustain his home, educate all his children. And not just that, I remember when I completed my Form 6, he gave me a prize. Just saying thank you, my grandchild, for making me proud. And it was 800K. All that was coming actually from coffee.
Wow.
And what did it do? It contributed to me getting a gadget, a laptop that I used at campus for my education research and all that. And I was able to make it out. So if I tell you, yes, mumwanyi, emwanyi yasomesa ba mama baffe bakojja bani, but it is the same mwanyi that bought me a gadget. Omuzukulu. Nemba nga nsobola okukola research wange bulungi nempita ku campus. Kati ombulira otya nti nno tukole kino na kino to making sure nti ono omuntu wa wansa atafunamu. Ngate mwe nafuna nze nganze.
Andi bo bagamba mbu ate kibakola ogenda funamu.
License bwofuna license, because they are trying to say that every farmer should have a license. And of course it has its pro.
Exactly.
And cons. License ogifuna otya? Olina kusasula. Kitegeeza tugenda kunyunyuta omuntu wa wansi at the end of the day.
Because igwe kigwerako.
Gwe tugenda okunyunyuta.
Gwe kasita license bakuseera osirika n'ogamba nze nja bakwatira walinga ntunda. I get you.
Naye ate bw'okikola bw'otyo omuntu wa wansi aganyulwamu.
Ne kati palamenti eno yeetwagala kubanga waliwo baleeta etteeka eriremesa okulima amayirungi. And yes, from a good perspective, but this is a business of many Ugandans. Ne bateekako era licensing, ne bateekako ssente ez'amaanyi ennyo z'olina okusasula okubeera ne license eyo, olina okubeera a large scale producer. Then now they have brought this law. There were laws around LGBTQ. I don't know if they were called for at the time. Does this parliament love its people? Because now this is us. But is this the true representation of us, of you and me?
I think ideally I agree with you that it's not. It's not representing well its citizens, because one of the things they should be doing is to put in place policies and laws that actually favor its people. That is what they should do as custodians that are indulged to do that. But you find that they are not observing rights per se, because I mean, where are our economic rights in that? That is something that we are not putting into play, really, so much. Because there are very many people who are earning from this. What does it mean? It means they are having an income. What happened to our right to work? Because, and work is not definite that you have to be in an office or you have to be where. Right to work is in anything, any venture that you find productive.
As long as it's legal.
And partly on that marijuana and stuff, they were basically looking at the aspect of drug abuse in the corner. That, you know, people misuse it and then they end up not, you know, contributing to development.
Exactly.
That is those are some of the arguments that they were putting in the other corner around drug abuse. But someone who will go to misuse such, it means they already have a bigger issue.
That's your resort.
It's
just a symptom of a disease.
Yes, it is just a symptom. And we are so fond of that in Uganda, that we are treating symptoms minus knowing. So I really sometimes feel so bad inside. And I cry for our dear motherland. Of what is going on. Because if let's say I have fever, and one of the things that you've realized is my temperature increasing, but has it taken away the fever? Because okay, because that is one of the things that will curb down the temperature.
But does
will you have actually silenced it all? Oba okutte n'ompa panado bamponye basiwonye. So that is the state we have in Uganda. But it's upon us to see these things and ensure that every person gets to know about them. After getting to know about these, then we can all rise up and show our dissatisfaction with the representatives that we've sent there.
Temwagenda mu corruption walk. Mwagenda mu corruption walk guno mwaka. Nemugamba inguzi nyingi. There's a lot of corruption, and it was based on a lot of issues. The extravagance, but we shall talk about that later. But you tried to advocate, to put a voice. Is there anything that changed? I saw the president say, I have never had a better speaker than this one.
I would tell you that when you feel the heat, what do? You vacate. Not so?
Really there.
When you feel the heat, it has really pressed so hard, you will speak even what you didn't want to speak. So all these statements, why didn't they come out before that? One of the things you should know is intimidation and fear are created in such a way. And there are also narratives that are used. You're trying to polish them badly and stuff like that. But when people go dig deep into the depth and bring it out, one of the things that activists use is name and shame. You get? If, by the time people come out to actually name and shame you, it means they have done a lot. What did the exhibitions do? They brought out all the
skeletons.
Yeah. They brought out everything so clear. And everyone was overwhelmed, was like, is this what is happening? And that is the reason. And actually, it actually caused, for me, I believe it actually created impact. At least there is a Ugandan who did not know how they are affected by corruption, but now they know.
People know.
And protests are not just done to just only show dissatisfaction. The other thing is civic education. They educate other people. What did the Kasita do? The people who wanted to actually negotiate with with the president about IFRIS. They had to come and beg people who were organizing that, you know what, muje musonga zafe, and later they had to vacate because they did not understand that even IFRIS, which is taxation, you can tax someone when they are actually happy. Do you know that? When they are happy, if I'm making money and you come and tax me well and you use my tax as it should be used, I will not even ask you questions.
Hey, by the way, it's true.
But because they did not understand, that is the reason they had to be there and begin like, oh, this is no, we cannot do that. We can only do, dialogue. But there is where you reach an extent and you're like, dialoguing won't work.
Because the protests everywhere. Teachers protest, doctors protest, intern doctors protest, basubuzi protests, KCC people, cleaners protest. Why is it that protest is the only solution in this country? Why don't you speak to these people, dialogue? You get?
How many dialogues have been held? So many. What has been done? What impact did it bring? That is one of the things. Because as you're trying to come up with different tactics on how you can show your dissatisfaction, there is what informs that. If I did a dialogue, I came, nenjogera nawe, nenkugamba nti omanyi, nti chiriwe, rachi chino chintu tuchusa, rachi chino te chiriwe chiti newe chiti, and it doesn't work. And you do nothing. What else will be done? I will use any other form to show it. Because, one, maybe a certain segment are heard and others are not heard. That's you're practicing you're practicing discrimination. You get? Why is it that other people are heard and others are not heard? It means those are discrimination tendencies that are brought maybe because of education, because of what, and all so very many things that bring about discrimination. But if my result, if I've showed my concern to you and you've not responded, I'll use any other thing to ensure that I get my results out. Because at the end of the day, what I want results. I don't want to remain in the same situation.
Jogedde nayo towulidde so nja kutry nge ekirala kinakuleeta owulira.
Omanyi bwe twali tukula bakugamba tokole ekyo ekintu. Kitegeera? Bagamba tokikola. Leero enkyaba kiddamu tokola kino ekintu. Ogwokusatu ki kye bagenda okukola? Bajja kuwuttula. So mu ngeri endala balabye nga okugamba tekijja kukola
towulira.
So that is how we do.
So that means these people only listen to protests, and basing on the track record, I think, let me answer myself, they do.
Yeah.
Because at the
end of the day, ogenda kusasanya sente nyingi. You will deploy police because ogenda gamba nti munange mugende ku this street and this. You do ABCD. From there, you're going to feed these people. You get? So it's like a burden.
On you.
So, but the other time when I was dialoguing with you, I didn't need so much from you. So I'm actually putting you in a decision dilemma by bringing about that baggage to you. So that now you will begin thinking, oh, I should do this, I should do this. Why do you think that the KCCA executives were sacked? I think ably, in my capacity as an individual, I would say that the march to Parliament helped in us getting to that position. Yes.
Connect the dots for me.
Or when you see The anti-corruption protests, they are basically focusing on the Parliament of Uganda. But from the Parliament of Uganda, it was not the parliamentary institution which is corrupt only. Most of the government entities are corrupt.
That is true.
And if you see the Chitenzi landfill, it is something that would have not happened. It is something, because it happened in broad daylight, in the morning.
Mazima.
So you want to tell me that people who are designated to do that didn't have anything to do at such a time before? With these reports that are coming in that already there was a report that this thing might, collapse and all that, it means that maybe it was one man's thing that don't do this. Twagala abantu abo baveewo. Kati in one way or the other, how will you go and do that? Let the landfill do it for ourselves. So in one way, you find that on different desks, what happens? Corruption is just not vivid on me bribing you.
Yes.
Only. You failing to do your work, which is actually paid for by our taxes, it means that you are actually corrupt also.
Yes. Kituufu nnyo.
Because sente ozitwala naye tokola. Oba kitegeera?
Mpulira ky'ogamba nnyabo.
Kati sente lwaki otwala omusaala ng'ate tokola. Oba
ate bangi by the way bagambeko bangi nnyo.
So that is one of the things that us ngaba activists tutuna ne tugamba nti bwe bakuteeka mu office eno lwaki tokola in accordance to what people need. Because public office is actually meant to serve people.
Okujjako ababeeramu bayifuula nga abatakwatibwako.
Naye bw'ogendayo gwe nga gwe you are person, otuukayo kye basooka okugamba munnange linda do this, like there are a lot of things they will make you do and you're like, are these people serving us?
Like they are helping you.
Yes, they be like as if they are helping us, but Chitezi would have been actually curbed. But resources, why do you channel them in other different ventures that are luxurious, yet instead of you channeling it to causes that you see with your naked eyes?
Yeah,
so for me, I'm actually trying to see corruption in another perspective apart from the one that we were told, bribe, give money, they give you money, they do this.
No. Corruption is big. It's wide.
It's if you fail to do your duties as you're supposed to do, but you're getting money,
you are corrupt.
You're corrupt.
Thank you. 26 minutes past 9 p.m, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching the Mighty Drive show. And of course, if you're just joining us, I am with a lady called Ritah Arinanye, a human rights activist. And of course, we are talking about everything human rights. This country has a lot of human rights crises on the neck. And I think the biggest perpetrator of human rights violations in this country for the 12th year in a row is the Uganda police force and generally the security forces of this country. I hope something is being done about that. Let's delve into the conversation of the election in these last 30 minutes. Ritah, tugenda mu kalulu 2026. Naye ebizibu byaffe tubimanyi. Lwaki ngamba tubimanyi? Because every election cycle feels like a mini war. It's like a mini war. People are violated. People are incarcerated. People are beaten. Some are murdered. Unfortunately, elections are robbed. Go tunulamu akalulu kano. Nze ndowooza twakatandise dda olwa abamu abatakkiriza twakatandise dda, but I feel we're in the political season. What do you think about generally the roadmap of the 2026 elections? And I want you to first paint a picture for us. It feels like Mr. Museveni is already winning, according to me, but what do you think about the election? Akalulu akajjako.
Akalulu akajja, me as a person, I'm seeing a lot of things happening, and actually bad things happening. Because if you're to see the elections that we had in 2021, they were characterized of so very many things, including even deaths that actually happened.
Yes, abantu bafa. In primaries NRM bafa abantu mukaga.
Including abantu okuba nti bagenda mu komera. People were arrested. And there are sects of people that I usually feel bad about, and those are activists. Whether you're a political activist or you're any other activist, that is the time to face arrest. You are a journalist, that is the time to feel. You are a political person or anything, that is you belong to a political party, that is the time to get arrested. And why do we have such? Nga byetutunulira ng'ebigendo bbaawo.
Like tubinanga a prophet of doom, but it's actually true that we know that happened. Those things happen, the things you've said.
Because bwe tutunuulira akalulu akaggwa nti mwalimu okutiisibwatiisibwa, nti naawe kennyini bw'oba ng'oli journalist ojja kutya ogenda okukwata aba opposition nga baholdinze their lorries. And what does it say? It shows that there is no media freedom.
Sorry for interrupting you. You remind me, speaking about media freedom and journalists in election, I was watching the 2021 election at that time, and there were two journalists from the same media house, but at different presidential candidates. Ng'omu ina presidential candidate kwali naye, the ruling presidential candidate. Omulala ngaline the main opposition, who was Kyagulanyi at the time. So they brought them live together, but you would see the difference in terms of onali comfortable, ali smart, anyirira yenali in a conducive environment. Ono helmet, fufu, tuyo. It really saddens me, but it was the truth. This person was like he's literally in a war. This one is like a walk in a park. My God.
So that shows us, that paints a clear picture of what we are talking about. And other things that we're seeing liberties, taken away. People were arrested and no even fair trials that are supposed to be so speedy. It did not happen. They were not speedy. That is the reason, even up to date, we have political prisoners there.
They accepted that they did. No, by the way, let's go on that issue. They accepted that they were guilty. Era, as we speak, Baba Salide Misango, Ugatako Budevavade Mukomera, they will be serving another 3 months, and I think now it's 17 days. Bakirize Misango Jab. Boita political prisoners.
I think my personal view on it is really so bad that we are facing that in Uganda. The way how a political party can influence a whole judicial system is actually it's something terrible for me as a person, but for the people that actually offered to plead guilty after being conned by someone, I would say someone because I wasn't there. Though allegations are pointing to Balaam.
I like how you say it.
That people had to plead in that they are guilty, whereas they actually know that they are not. As an activist, there is a point in time when you feel exhausted, serving a sentence that you well know that you did not do. Because that is the reason why they are in the court martial. They would be in the civilian courts. And of course, court martials, the way how they proceed with court rulings are different from the civilian courts. So by them pleading guilty, I think there is what they have gone through. A journey that I cannot tell as an individual, but serving 4 years, minus being charged, and then at the end of the day, they still have to charge you to be there for 3 months and
22 days.
22 days really is really so bad in our Ugandan state. Why do you keep me in the cells as someone who is just remanded for a longer period than the period that I'm meant to serve? Just because I pleaded guilty? Do they resonate? You've stayed in prison for 4 years, but now you're being charged, and after the charge, they are giving you 3 months. Reason it out and see.
No, anti bagamba nti at least tuongera ku budde, at least mwa serving emyaka jammwe ena tubongeddeyo emyezi 3 ne nnaku 22 sentence yammwe ggwe.
That is how they actually, put it, so that people get to it. But to me, it doesn't create sense, really.
Too many.
It doesn't. And besides, I think I had. I was fortunate to find Olivia Lutaya, one of them, in Rosira Women Prison, and.
Yeah, to go visit.
I had gone to visit, That is why to find.
Okay.
Because the state I found her in, it was not good. You get? And it shows that there is a way they treat political prisoners, which is bad. You get?
Kaba kansusa kaba.
Yeah, kaba kansusu kaitako.
Okay.
Oba kitegeera?
Mpulira.
Someone who has, come to the limelight, gotten to know what her civic liberties are, civic rights, practiced them, charged with an offense that is really even outside, taken to a remand, and treated badly, I think it's bad. For me, it's bad. So what does that put us in place? It shows, like I said, that the lack of independence that we have in Uganda, though you're from commemorating 62 years, that you find that prisons are serving one master, police is serving one master, and I will not judge them. And the reason I'm not judging them is because we need to break the whole system. And breaking a system, it means that we need to know what do they face. You think a police officer is better off being in such a house where they stay? It is. So that is the reason they brutalize people on the streets. So the way how they treat prisoners, I think maybe it's from what they go through.
Yeah. But okay. But first conclude on that particular issue, because I wanted us to also ask ourselves, do we need these elections really? But first conclude.
I think for the people that have pleaded guilty, it is out of the exhaustion, the burnout that they have gone through. And I know when they are free, they'll ably share what they went through. And I believe in the journey they took. They persevered, so let us celebrate the perseverance they had, other than just looking at them pleading guilty.
Let's look at the spirit behind that.
Yes, because it means that they really loved what they were doing. 4 years you're in prison, it means they loved what they were doing. So for me, I think I'll give them a power to them.
Wow.
Yeah, for what they did.
That's good. Do we need to enter these elections, really, for real? As we are seeing the political situation, basing on the track record we have seen over time, is this something that can change Uganda's problems, as you have mentioned them out, going in a regular election? Mukana Karu.
I think we need to. We need to go in for these elections, and everyone who's hearing me out there, kindly make sure you participate in this, because this is your right. These are your rights that you're putting at stake at the end of the day. You will be able to enjoy your country if at all you did participate in political engagements. Whereas other people are like, why should we participate? You know, we've lost interest. There is nothing like change. There is, you know, and all that. But let us participate in these elections. Let us not ignore them like nothing ever happened, because you're exercising your civic rights. Go cast your vote to the person that you feel comfortable with. And then when people come over to you to request for a vote, to sell their manifestos of what they are going to be doing, kindly hear them out, because one of the things that will help you to decide is you getting the right information.
And bagamba tulimba wabagala kalubajja tugamba byonna, ate they believe that this election is ceremonial in nature. Because we already know you've talked about a grandmaster. We have a grandmaster in this country, and when that grandmaster is there, everything looks like he's going to take it all.
Just because we know that very many institutions are not independent, because I mean the Electoral Commission is the boss, is the one that puts you in that chair for you to lead it, and at the end of the day they wish to serve the master. Correctly. But maybe sometimes there could be something different. You never know.
A dead clock is right twice in a day.
Yeah.
So should we take it as a dead clock?
Yes, I think that is one thing that I can say. Because at the end of the day, if you don't participate, then they'll be like, yeah, it's because your people didn't participate. You get? Now it will arise another question. You didn't participate, and you're saying you didn't vote, like,
but isn't that kwekaza?
Your leaders didn't go through.
Isn't that what they call kwekaza? Because imagine singa abantu boycotting akalulu. Where would you get the legitimacy? Ujijawa.
And okay, boycotting would actually be another option, but that is if at all of you choose. You get? If all of you choose to boycott, then it's actually okay. But if you're boycotting alone, then it will bring out results that are showing different results, and you'll be like, I wish I participated, and wouldn't want to see such an attitude of I wish. If it's boycotting, let everyone do so. And that can only come if at all people have civic education. Like they have given that liberty to know what is going on, and they get to boycott.
N'abantu bakyalonda mulina eggwanga, abantu tebalonda.
Bameka nayo kimanyi nti nno waliwo be bawa ne ssente ogenda ovootinga.
Era nti ssente zezibwa sabbuuni, ssente, kasukaali ne kamutwala n'agaba akalulu.
Naye olaba bwe weegabayo yenna. Waliwo byentera okugamba abantu nti buli bw'oyagala ekyamangu, ekyamangu era kiggwa mangu. Bwe buzibu obuliwo. Buli bw'oyagala ekyamangu, era Abannayuganda abali eyo abalinga nze, bw'oyagala ebyamangu era ebyamangu biggwawo naki? Amangu. Ojja mala okugamba nti nno oyo yakuwadde esente ogenda omulonde, ate enkya otandika okwejjusa. Waliwo bangi bendabye nga bagamba nti no naye nga MP ono tatu representing. Oba kitegeeza?
Yagenda teyadda mu constituency.
Anti amasimu bwe yamala ofuna obululu yagajjako, tetukyamuwuliza, tetwogera naye. Kati n'otandika okugamba nti enjiri ki gye baakuliisa? Ng'enjiri gye baamuliisa ya ssente.
Ate ye aba akuggyeemu. The moment I give you money, That means you don't owe me anything. What sina chenkubanja to inacho manja na kusasula wampa akalu. The transaction is done.
The transaction is done. And it gets me thinking of one thing they used to tell us when we were young, that bwenkuwe chenyanja olwaleero encho nobeera nakyo oba tokirina naye bwenkuwa akatimba olwaleero encho genda beera nakyo n'olulala obeere nakyo.
Yes.
Oba kitegeera. So as we go into these elections, let us be vigilant. Si muntu agenda okujja just nti nzize mu campaign period nti mumpaka lulu. What has he or she been contributing to the society? Yaddamu bamenyo tukayo ne befuula. But what have they contributed to the society? Biki byabadde akola bulijjo? Kubanga omumotero moyinza okutunulira n'ogamba nti ono mukirabika alumirirwa abantu be. Abadde abeerawo ku kino tayagala kino kubeera mu kitundu. Ate mulimu abamu abalina n'obuyinza obw'okukyusa ekitundu naye tebalina ssente. Naye tuganya otegeera nti mulimu abantu abali omwo nga tebalina ssente naye abaddewo ashowinze their presence in every matter. But they have not been with money.
Nabo gye bali.
Naye ng'ate they will be good leaders. Okimanyi nti ba good leaders ebiseera ebisinga tetubalonda.
Twagala nti olewa ssente.
Lwa nsonga ya ssente. Ate ekirala oluusi sina ssente, oluusi intimidation. Nti kubanga oli maama wange, oli taata wange, oli kojjange, onyinako obuvunaanyizibwa. N'otandika ogamba okimanyi nti nno school fees gwe nakusasulira. Oba okitegeera? Okimanyi nti nno byonna bino by'obadde weeyagaliramu nsonga y'ono candidate.
Mpulira.
N'omugamba ogeza no voting oli omulala. Ne bwe wandibadde nga gwe omuli munda okiwulira nti twemwagala ku voting ono. Ogenda ate kubanga ogenda okuvotinga ate nno ki ekigenda obeerawo. Bazadde bagenda naawe. Otuuke wali eri bagambe making sure nti ovoting. Abasooka nakukubira ki. Ate waliwo munange bajjajja baffe bambi nga bo waliwo ba candidate be baagala naye tebasobola balonda. Lwa nsonga ki nti bw'atuuka wali eri bamubuzaabuza.
Bambi.
Eyo naye ensonga ya kutunuulira nga tugenda nga tu approaching election. Tamanyi
tebirikkiriya.
N'ebifaananyi oluusi tebirikkiriya naye nga ebyo obijjeeko oluusi biyinza okubeera nakkiriya. Naye kubanga munnange bwe tugenda nga tukulagana amaaso ogalaba. Lenses zaazo zigenda ne zikola ki? Ne zibeera bit weak. So ne twesanga nga ebimu tobitunuulira bulungi. N'agenda okasikinga vote n'ateeka awatali wewo. Bululu meka bwe basanga nga buli invalid.
Bungi nno.
Naye lowooza tebabeerawo ba candidates babeera baagala.
Era bayina
babayina. See, it's not intentional abantu okubanga we have invalid votes. It's not intentional. It's because abantu abamu babuzaabuzibwa nga tebamanyi kyakukola. How about you bring this? Nga kuliko ba candidate bonna n'osooka n'obagamba nti munnanga atikinga ono amanya gaagano n'akafaananyi kali bwe kati. N'obagamba kiri bwe kiti ne bwe kiti naye do we do that?
Not yet.
Sikiraba
budget ya electoral commission mwekiri ekintu ekyo civic sensitization and mass awareness. Naye simanyi sente gye ziraga ezo. Kati
ndowooza okiraba nti bwe baba nga bakikoze omuntu ne bw'atuuka wali eri ng'agenda kulonda tatwala na budde bungi. Abamu bateraga munange empapula obupapula babulesere eti n'ekiroba kya votinga. Oba kitegeera okukomekera nga bataddemu n'obulala bwe bakoze eki bwe bareginze ne bajja ne bakasukamu abantu anti tebagenda kulaba kubanga olwedde bwakiro. Oba kitegeera
olwo n'abantu be batiikingira bayiza muli n'eggwanga ne babalondera kyalo kirama ne bakirondera. By these things we talk about them and you may feel like they are alien but they are villages.
They are not alien.
Parishes and ngoli babalondera nawe mu watuuse edda bakulondedde.
Ate n'ekirala nti already baba wadda sente ne allocating a whole budget to the electoral commission, so that people exercise their right to vote. But what happens? They do not exercise it at the end of the day. Obululu bwatuseleti oba n'obutatuuka. I'll give you an example. I vote from here, Wakiso. But ndoza, the last elections that we had, far okumpi. At what time did they reach?
Tell me what time.
It is really so shocking. Nti abantu abali mu northern Uganda, western Uganda, eastern Uganda,
yes,
bafuna ballot papers and everything the day before. Naye bwaffe n'okulunaku lwennyini zaawera ssaawa 6 nga tetunnabulabako.
Kyekyo naye ffe vote by ssaawa 9 twali tubala obululu. 3 p.m. voting is done, we are counting the election, the votes.
So how do you tell me that we actually participated? At the end of the day, bwe baali babusoma, my heart tells me, this is not information from the Electoral Commission, it is just my personal view, that balabanga Wakiso tetulina kyetugenda kukola ki. Tetulina kyetugenda voting. And maybe for us, we are not supposed to enjoy our right to vote.
Tomina kyemugamba gwanga. Okujjako mu dakiika zino 10 zetubulayo, njagala tusooke twogereko the issue of violence. Atenga kati, violence is always meted by the security operatives, and at the helm of the security operatives is General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, the president, the son of the president, and also wants to become a president of this country. How do you see the violence, the military structure, but also comment on Mr. Muhoozi as a person? What do you think about his charisma and his leadership ambitions?
This is based on what I've heard out there, because I've never had any engagement with him. I've never, had a face-to-face conversation with him. But what I've heard is that he cannot lead this country, based on the fact that he drinks a lot, the fact that even his reasoning capacity and
talk over here.
I'm not. These are things that I've heard. They are not my personal, because I don't know him. Like,
it's really what they disclaimer.
Yes, I really don't. I've never sat with him. Actually, I've never even been near or close. Yes, so all this is what I've heard in the different spaces, that he cannot lead this country. Someone who drinks like that, like they go on Larry's and literally they have to carry him to talk, and such things that I've heard. And it puts us to actually question someone's ability to lead the country, really. That every time they have to, get you up, go there to speak, really, it's not in a good position. And even in the US, I've had something to do that people are talking about Trump, that he's sick and stuff like that. So in the next presidency, he will not be able to execute his duties well. So I'm relating it to here in terms of capacity. If every day they are carrying you to go and deliver a speech, or maybe they are showing you the direction of where people are facing, it means that you cannot lead these people, because when will you sober up to actually tell them what we need to do, what we need to strategize?
But if he can lead the full UPDF, he's leading a full army. That person with those traits, so-called traits.
One thing I can say is there is what you earn by merit, and there is what you earn by the fact that maybe you are son of the president or something. So I don't think you can see the way how the ranks have been, moving up suddenly. You get? We've had people who have served in the military for so long, but their ranks have not been, coming spontaneously. Like, you hit up. No. Can we say that he's too much of a risk taker or something? I don't think it will be like a no.
There's no evidence to back it up.
Yes, because for you to earn a certain, you know, over commandship or something, up to those ranks that they have, I don't know all of them.
The general where he is now.
Yes, I think there is what you've gone through that informs that.
Yes.
By the fact that it's your father who is actually giving you positions, I think I wouldn't say it's leadership. It is something that is...
it's a privilege.
It's a privilege. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Give us your last remark on this particular issue. Where is the country going? And say, Ragawa, Uganda, Ojiravo, really, where are we going as a people and as a country moving forward?
I think our country is a good country, like they call it, the Pearl of Africa. Where we are heading is in a better state. And why I'm saying a better state is because I've seen very many activists being vibrant. And if at all the vibrancy doesn't shrink and we keep up the pace, I believe that we can be in a better country. But if at all it shrinks, then that is when we shall be in a bad state. Because activists play a very vital role to ensure that people's rights are protected, people's rights are promoted by doing civic education. Because by doing civic education along with the civil society organizations and the international community, if it's given a chance. Because you see sometimes the international community wants to contribute, like to come and, you know, tell people how things are going in other parts of the world, so that we can get information, but they are stopped. I remember when we were in the elections of 2021, the ambassador of US wanted to visit Bobi Wine, but what was there was restricted.
Exactly.
But the restrictions are coming to a Ugandan. However much I have political ambitions,
I'm still Ugandan
first. You get? Someone has come to advise a Ugandan, or has come to check on a Ugandan. How bad is that? Because, I mean, if you get the notes from another space and you compare them with yours, then that is when you can ably say, oh, I think we can change here, or we can, you know, do this. Because we learn from each other, and knowledge, you cannot say that you're all knowing, you're not good. If at all we become each other's keeper at the end of the day, I think Uganda can be in a better position.
Right.
Ensure that you cast your vote. At the end of the day, it speaks for you, it speaks volumes. All
right, thank you so much. We've come to the end of this conversation. And of course, thank you so much, Rita. Now, before you leave us, give us, in your parting shot, chicho nyumiro kola, oba tuli mu activism, human rights violations, ngoli mchiwaita good vibes. How do you enjoy your life?
I like dancing and playing. With little ones, by the way. That is the worst version of me.
The best, really.
It's the best. Yeah, because I like games that are so childish. I don't like those that are... Yeah, like I like every time rejuvenating my child, the child in me. So that is what I like.
All right. And deep down, every woman is a girl. So.
Yeah, and the other thing is that I am a feminist, and it's one thing that I'm proud about. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Rita. It was a privilege having you on the show. From the entire team, we are grateful. It was a good conversation. And of course, to our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. A special shout outs to everybody who has been tuning in from the time we started. There is a lady called Martha Kahunde. Thank you so much for watching from Dubai. And the rest of the people in the diaspora, it's always a privilege having you right here. A gentleman called Ali was the one on camera. So everything camera is that gentleman. But also Mr. Mokose Arnold Anthony is the programs director for the institution. He's always the one in the production. So in case you want to advertise with us, or you want photography, videography, events organizing, we do all that right here at Digitalk TV. So feel free to just send us a message directly through our social media platforms, or call us through 0701 800 212. That number belongs to Mr. Mokose Arnold Anthony. From the entire team, we shall see you again tomorrow. It will be a Woman Crush Wednesday with Miss Farida Mikobere and Lillian Luwede. So please do not miss that particular discussion tomorrow. Send us your feedback, as I've told you, through our social media platforms on Facebook and on X at The Alternative Uganda, at Digitalk TV. My name is Edgar Matthew Karuhanga. From the entire team, good morning.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.